you are somebody who has a proxy, like your own vote plus a proxy, then when you stand, you're going to want to hold so they can see both of your votes, so they can make sure and count you twice. And sometimes what people will do, maybe not so much on officer elections, but certainly like when we get to resolutions and debating some resolutions and amendments of resolutions or things, sometimes somebody maybe, since they have two votes and they're kind of like, well, I like this and I like that, I don't know which way, so they'll vote once and then they'll vote again on the other side.
We have examples.
Oh, we have examples. There's multicolors. Yeah, they're color coded so that those who have their credential, and then a proxy will be a different color. And then it's a different color for precinct officers and state delegates, or just all one color, or just the proxy is different?
The proxy's a
Okay.
different color.
So that way it's easy to tell what somebody is voting. And so we're not thinking that somebody's just voting willy-nilly wherever credentials doesn't know what's going on. So we do that as our voting. If we do have multiple candidates running for an office and nobody gets over 50%, then the top two go to a runoff, and we do the election again with just those top two, until we then have somebody who has won the election, and then we move on to the next office. And we start with chair, then the vice chair, and then secretary.
This is the part that is astounding to me. These are 2-year volunteer positions,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Well, thank you to everybody who's done it, first of all. That is a huge deal. I honestly had no idea that's how this worked.
Yeah.
And
It's all volunteer.
yeah, I had no idea. I think most of my friends, I'm 40, about to turn 41, but I think most of us just have no idea that it's all volunteers at the county level, and I just want to shout that from the rooftops.
Volunteer, a lot of it, even at the state level and stuff.
Yeah, everybody is volunteer. The chair can receive salary by the state party constitution and bylaws, but typically the chair doesn't. And if the chair ever is, they're the first bill not getting paid if the fundraising is not up to it, in all honesty. And it happens very frequently. When we have had chairs getting paid, very frequently they weren't really getting paid because the fundraising wasn't necessarily up to it, and so they were the first bill not getting paid. Ollie?
It's also volunteer at district level too.
Yeah, all throughout, yeah. And right now, the treasurer for the state party, Donna Russell, is receiving a salary. She is receiving a salary that is otherwise would probably be going to another position of doing bookkeeping and things, if somebody were hired to do that.
So, like I said, this is all new to me. I would love to know who is going to run for the chair, the vice chair, the secretary, but I guess we just don't know until we get to the convention. And
Right now, we only
hopefully
know.
someone shows up that's the opposite gender, and
Right now, we only know for sure that Kimberly Fobbs is running for
Okay.
chair.
then we
I
have to
haven't
hope that
heard-
if she gets elected, we have to hope that a guy who stands up to volunteer for
Right.
vice chair, or there's just not a big giant position.
Right. It's basically the same thing as in your precinct meetings, just at a bigger venue.
Okay.
What does the vice chair do?
Vice chair is typically tasked with the financial, per the Constitution and bylaws of the state party, their role is a financial role. But in all honesty, the team of officers can make that as it works best for them.
What does the chair do? Run the office?
The executive, yeah, they're the one in charge of delegating and everything, making sure things are running and all of that stuff, and overseeing. That's all in the state party constitution and bylaws. Yes.
Again, even though I'm 20 years older, I still know how, this is my first time too.
Yeah.
So you could know absolutely nothing about anybody who's running for any of these offices, and just
That's
by
true.
the fact that they're running, they're going to be speaking for us in the Democratic Party, and we don't know anything about them, or their background, or their character, or anything.
Can happen.
Can happen.
Can happen, and yeah,
And
and
that's
I know I've been
all-
talking to people, trying to find people to run for some of these other county offices, and people just don't seem to be stepping up for doing it, and so.
I just didn't know. I didn't know it worked like this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell
Because
everyone.
it's a lot to ask of somebody for 2 years, and you're a volunteer, there's a lot expected of you, and, and when people people are always saying, well, you're not doing it right, you're not doing that right, you know, it can be daunting.
So do you have at least one person already that you know of that's running for each of those three offices or not?
Chair, and then I know I've known of 2 names considering secretary, but since they still haven't said they are, I don't know what to think on that. And vice chair is the one that, because of the opposite gender, and since they know Kimberly's running, then people start looking for a guy, and
I would be willing to run for vice chair. I don't know what I'm doing, but I would be willing to try.
and I think there are probably some people that are still now starting to be like, well, if nobody else is, then I might.
Try.
So, right now, we don't know who, and we may end up day of with a whole bunch of people running because nobody else is already announced. And so
can
people
I
come in the
announce
day
that?
of.
Can I try to run for that?
Up to you.
The good news is that in the governing document for the state constitution, which is available at the state website, and probably available at our website, there's 3 very large sections that explain the functions, the basic functions for each of those 3 offices. So if you're thinking about running at the very least, the teacher in me suggests that you do a little homework and go to either the state party website or our party website and look at the duties of the chair, vice chair, and the secretary. And then the second redeeming value of this whole thing is that as a result of probably POTUS, the organization has grown since November. And so there's a larger group of people on which you can ask to help you do the tasks. They're indeed volunteer people, but they're also challenges, organizational challenges. And if you can organize well and if you can ask well, then it's possible to spread that task over a number of people. And there'll probably be, I'm very surprised with the new officers, if there isn't a committee structure put in place.
Right.
So if you have PR skills or if you have financial skills and you can communicate those to the party, they'll probably be more than happy to turn around and help you task what the chair, vice chair, and the secretary does. So check those documents out because they'll tell you the basics about what you need to do so you can have at least a little bit of an idea going in.
Yeah. So that's kind of the basic on the officers. And then I'm going to talk about resolutions because before we get into the state delegates. I'm switching the order up some. I'm going to save state delegates for the last thing to